this is BUB'S Comics coming at you with a support video. I'm calling it a contest entry because a lot of times there's these support videos, right? And to me, the difference between a support video and a contest entry is I do a support video for a channel that I like when they're having a subscriber contest or something like that. But I don't necessarily care about the prizes. Maybe I'll prize tag somebody, or I'll, ask, don't really care. Just say, yeah, I'm supporting you, but maybe don't even send me anything. But in this case, this is a contest entry because this is for ManFromBeantown's 300 subscriber contest, and I want the prizes. So I'm hoping I win it. I don't do too many of these anymore. I used to do more. In fact, I started my first video on YouTube was a contest entry. I know ManFromBeantown is usually on a no faces type, where he only shows the books, and generally I only show the books. For this one, it's a little different. It's a little more personal. I feel like what he's wanting is he's wanting you to shout out 3 YouTubers in the community. Now, for me, I've got 3 that I'm going to shout out, and then I have a 4th that's kind of an honorary mention, if you will. So, mainly, I want to shout out the 3 main YouTubers I want to shout out is Alex Comic Hoarder. And the reason that I'm picking these 3 is there's tons of YouTubers out there that I enjoy, lots of content I enjoy, lots of channels that I watch I don't necessarily comment on. I always try and leave a like. I watch a lot of videos in my car, watch some of my TV, and it's kind of hard to comment on a lot of those type videos when you're doing that. But these are videos that I have the notification bell rung, and every time one comes, I watch them. I can't help it. So Alex Comic Hoarder, top of the list. Whenever he has a video, I've been watching him since I first started watching YouTube channels. It's one of the first channels that I found, and I've enjoyed his content from the very beginning, and I still enjoy his content. It hasn't changed in quality at all. Certainly hasn't lessened. And thank you. And I bought a couple of books from him. Actually, 2 of the books in my top 10 that ManFromBeantown want to see, I bought from Alex Comic Hoarder. So that's pretty cool. So he definitely makes the list. Second is Area 51. Now, one of the things I really enjoy about Area 51's channel is that it's not just a comic channel, which is funny because I've had some of my friends in the comic community say, hey man, when are you going to not do just hauls, right? Because people get tired of, I know, watching just comic hauls. But at the point of collecting that I'm in right now, I'm still picking up quite a lot of books and finishing up a lot of runs and sets and things of that nature, picking up a lot of keys. So a lot of people have said, well, when are you going to do something other than comic hauls? And I have the No Faces chat on Monday night, and that's fun. And I have the with Roger, Metarog, DS, two more great guys. But as far as my channel goes, I don't really do much other than comics. I've tried showing a couple of figures, and really the viewership on that was like, nobody cared about that, which I'm probably just not really good at doing it. So let me tell you somebody who is good at doing it, and that's Area 51. Mike is absolutely fantastic. He hails from Canada, and he does toy rescues where he goes to like a value village near him, so it's kind of like a secondhand store, like a closeout store. And he picks up a lot of stuff there and shows them off. And sometimes they're broken toys, and sometimes they're still in packages. You never know. He'll do like a toy rescue where he'll fix them up and remodel them, paint them, or redesign them a little bit. Then he picks up, I think on pre-order some of them, he does some of the big statues that come out and some of the figurines that come out. Then he also does Poser Wednesdays where he picks up more like the Marvel Legends or things that are posable figurines. He does that. So anyway, not to get too much, you could talk about his channel for that's a whole show in by itself. It's a fantastic channel, does a lot of great stuff, and he also shows off comics from his local comic shops and pickups that he does. He also does tours of cons when he goes to cons. So just a great all-around channel for all things kind of geek related. He's on it. So definitely one of my favorite channels. Whenever I see him pop up, I click that button, and these are channels I click the like button before I even watch it because I know how much I'm going to love it. So there's another one. Another one that I would say that is really, really, really high on my list. I can't not watch his channel. And this is kind of my honorary mention also is Silver Age Dave. So Silver Age Dave, I started out with his channel. Again, another one of the early channels that I found when I first started, and I really enjoyed his content. It's absolutely fantastic. He does just so much. He has such a huge, robust collection, and just really, really just nails it. You know, absolutely nails it every time. And he's not making as many videos as he used to. And now he's actually, you know, he does a few more live streams than he used to, so he doesn't do as many pre-recorded videos. But he comes and goes through the community and has a lot of good stuff there too. And really, I can't miss channel. I'm going to throw another channel out there, and that's a newer channel with not near as many subs that I really, really enjoy, and that's Schoon's Comics. So I just love his enthusiasm. I think he's in Ohio also. I'm not quite sure, but his channel is great, and I just really love. So if you're looking for a newer channel, somebody that if you're subbed to me, you're probably already subbed to Silver Age Dave. You're probably already subbed to Alex Comic Hoarder, but and you're probably already subbed to Area 51. But there's one if you're not subbed to anybody. If you're subbed to those guys, but you're looking for a channel you're not subbed to, I would recommend Schoon's Comics. Also, I'm going to throw in another little honorary one, and that is Century Stir Fry. Again, one of my favorite channels. The guy is a comic ninja. His timing is perfect. You know, when I think about doing more comedy with the channel and you know, presenting that side of myself more often, I just remember that he already does it so well that I don't have to. So if you're looking for a comedic comic haul and statue review, he's your guy for that. Now, right now, he's not making any videos right now, but he's going to be coming back soon. So be on the lookout for Century Stir Fry again, making his return. And he, you know, he's got a family and stuff like a lot of us do anyway. And so he comes in and out making videos as well. So I'll put him as an honorary mention too. All right. All that aside, thank you to those channels I really enjoy. And thank you all to my subscribers as well. Recently, I hit over 550, I think. So that's big for me. I haven't done a contest video in a long time as far as holding a contest. So that's probably going to be coming up. I was going to do it 300, then I was going to do it 400, then 450, then 550. And yeah, so here we are. We're at 550 subs. Probably going to be doing one of those. Let's get to the books. Top 10 books. Man from Beantown wants to know your top 10 books that are the big wow books, the big factor books, the holy crap, this guy either spends a lot of money or really has a good eye or gets great deals. I can tell you right now that what I did for these books is that I went through my collection. Most of them are on the wall. You can see here I got some, you can see in the frame one comic mount that's empty. I promise you there's more. So, and there's spots, there's little holes all over my room right now that's like kicking into my little brain saying, oh no, you gotta put those back. So anyway, I will be replacing these books back on the wall shortly. But for right now, they're down. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go in front of the camera for this video, because I really want to show these books off. And I enjoy these are my big books. They're not my favorite books necessarily. There's some books in the collection that I have a personal connection to that are not necessarily valuable otherwise. Certainly not as valuable as the 10 I'm about to show. So that's a different video. That's not what he asked for. That was like what you would do if you didn't have very many keys or something like that. So these are the books that basically if someone walked in to my collection, you know, let's say I get hit by a bus and somebody comes to my wife and says, I want to buy 10 books, and she wanted to make the most money, these are the books she needs to give them, right? So so here at number 1 we have Green Lantern 76, graded CBCS and a 3.0, yellow label, signed by Neil Adams. So there is my number 1, or number 10 I should say, right? Green Lantern there, looking pretty good. I'm very happy with that. You can see how that looks. Sorry about the glare. I'm not real familiar with how to do these kind of camera angles yet. So there you go. Neal Adams, signed Green Lantern 76, key book. Says Green Lantern, Green Arrow team up begins. Denny O'Neil, Neal Adams story begins. And of course, it's a classic Neal Adams cover, one of the best. So there you go. There's number 10. We're counting down to 1. So that would be my least expensive book of the top 10. This next book, X-Men 94. I think this cover is hideous. I don't care what you say. I think it's an ugly cover. Not only that, but this book has a hideous spine roll, keeping it at a 2.5. Now that I own a press and I know how to press books and get spine rolls out and all kinds of good stuff, I would definitely have taken this and fixed that spine roll before I sent it in to CBCS. I didn't send this in anyway. I bought this signed by Chris Claremont already. And because it's a yellow label, there's like nothing you can do for it. You can't change it. It is what it is. You can get it reholdered, but I don't think you can get them regraded. I can't take it out and press it myself for sure. Maybe I can send it in and have them do it. I don't know. I may contact them and ask them, but I really like this book. Otherwise, I don't like the cover, but the significance of it as a Wolverine collector is obviously a big deal. And you have the new team showing in continuity. So this is a big deal book. It's not a super high dollar book, and it's actually a book. If you're going to pick up one book out of these 10 that has not blown up in price yet, this is the book. I say get this book and see what it does for your collection in the next 4 or 5 years. I think this book is going to be pulled along with all the other high dollar X-Men books as they get brought up. This is the one this one's waiting to get pulled up in price. So just be on the lookout for that. All right. Next we have Marvel Spotlight number 5. So this is the first appearance, of course, of Ghost Rider. So what I did with these books is that anything, and that has my reclaimed CGC case from a cracked case I picked up at a con. You can watch some of my previous videos for the story on that. But as far as how I acquired these broken cases. But I think it looks good. I haven't sent it into CGC, and it works really well with the comic mounts, so I appreciate that. So Ghost Rider, first appearance of Ghost Rider, Marvel Spotlight number 5. That is number 3 on the list. And really what I did for these that aren't graded, my grading skills are decent. I can usually get within 0.5 of what CGC should be putting on books. Sometimes they're wrong also. But for all these non-graded books, I kind of went for the 2.5 grade because most of them are at least a 2.5, if not better. So whatever the grade, whatever the price point was for a 2.5, that's how I ranked it in the list if they're non-graded. And you'll see some of them are severely undergraded at 2.5, but none of them are overgraded at 2.5. So I just used that kind of as a benchmark to see what was what. So that's number 3. Marvel Spotlight number 5, first appearance of Ghost Rider. And coming in at number, actually that would be 10, so that would be 10, 9, 8. So coming in at number 7 is New Mutants 98. This book is very nice. So, and again, I graded this. This one I actually figured was about an 8.5. So it has a pinhole right there that actually goes through the book, all the way through the book to the back. And I have no idea what the grading company would do to that. I really feel like it would probably get an 8.5 at a minimum and maybe more. It's just an excellent copy, sharp corners, good color, everything on it's just about perfect except for that pinhole. Really, really flat, clean copy of the book. So I'm putting it at an 8.5, and that bumps it up the list a little bit higher than I would naturally want it to be. So got a good deal on it. I know it's a big grail for some people. It's one of my son's favorite characters, so what I've done is try to collect some key books for him that he may want, down the line when I pass on parts of my collection to him. This will be one of those books that he gets. So he doesn't have to get that book is the way I look at it. He can put his money in other books, and I'll pay for these bigger books and then gift it to him later when he's settled in and has a good place for them all. And I don't think he's going to sell them for a tank of gas. So, So that's 10, 9, 8, 7. This is number 6. We have Captain America 103, the White Shield variant. The White Star Shield variant. So there's a blue shield and a white shield. This book by itself is like a $60, $75 book. But the reason, of course, that it makes the list is because of that sweet yellow label Stan Lee signature. And so that, in and of itself, keeps it on the list up higher. Because at this point, if you're wanting to get a nice mid to high grade Stan Lee signed book, on a book that a character he created in a story that he wrote, so this has a lot of Stan Lee to it. Now, if you want to get a New Mutants 98 signed by Stan Lee, that you do what you want to do. But for me, I wanted one where it was a character that he wrote for. So he wrote this book, and that means something to me. So there you go. Captain America, Stan Lee, Red Skull. You got Agent 13. It's the first time she's called Sharon Carter, so it's kind of a minor key. Pretty cool. I got the new label on there, so I've just shown this book off recently, but it's on the list. And what's funny is a lot of these top 10 lists that I've been watching, they are a lot of them contain books that were just picked up and they're kind of high on the list. So give me 5-10 years and maybe this book moves down the list some, but for right now it's up there. All right, so we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Here's number 5. We're halfway through. Hope y'all are still with me. We have Tech 359, so Detective Comics 359. First appearance of Barbara Gordon as Batgirl. This is another new acquisition. My wife bought this for me. I absolutely love it, love it, love it. It's a fantastic book. Just look at that. And this, again, much better than a 2.5, but at a 2.5 grade, it still bumps over the rest. I think it's just fantastic. I love this book. It's got great features. It has an unfortunate stain on the back that holds the value down. But I'm a low-grade collector. I could not care less about that stain. This is all that I care about is the front cover right there. The book is complete. It is what it is. So there you go. I think I'm cheating a little bit because I had an extra book on the list. So hold on for me one sec. All right, and we're back. So I don't know how many books I've shown, but I'm going to say tied for number 5. Can we do that? So tied for number 5 would be my Rifleman number 10. Look at that. The log cover. That's a classic right there. Heck yeah. I love it. So Rifleman number 10, it kind of shows the quirkiness of my collection. Funny enough, top 10 books, most of you who watch my channel know that I have a lot of risque covers, a lot of, suggestive covers, whatever, mature books. So this is kind of the immature book to show off. I have a lot of those too. So I'm going to call that tie for number 5 because I cannot have this list without that book. All right, next we're going to move on to number 4. And we have Werewolf by Night 32. A very, very pretty copy of that book. I mean, that is very nice. I love this book. So again, sorry about all that glare. I don't know how to stop it. So that's where we are with that book. Has like a bullet hole in the back. Look at that. Just in the cover. So something weird happened there, but just in the cover. The rest of it's fine. But there you go. So that's the unfortunate deal with this book. That's why I was able to acquire it for what it is. It looks fantastic, though. I really do like the front of the book. But that's why it's in one of these, reclaimed CGC case. Werewolf by Night 32. First appearance of Moon Knight. I got it because I was trying to complete my Werewolf by Night run, which I did. So I have the full run of Werewolf by Night, and that book, man, that was one of the first books that I ever bought because I had to complete a run, and it was the key that was the stumbling block. And it kind of changed my perspective in buying books because at that time I would pick up all the cheap books and then pick up the key. And we call that, in No Faces Chat, we call that collecting uphill, right? So then I changed my mind and I decided to be a downhill collector. Pick up the key in the run first, because that's the one that's moving in price. The other ones generally stay stagnant. So pick up the keys that are in the run first, and then collect downhill, picking up the cheaper books as you go. The only issue with that is that sometimes after you pick up the key, and this happened for me, oftentimes after I pick up the key, I'm no longer as interested in collecting the rest of the books in the run. So that ended up, I was like hill hopping. Instead of collecting uphill or downhill, I was just going to top of hills and plucking off the keys, and I'll work on the runs somewhere down the line. So that's what happened. So I ended up, after I completed my Werewolf by Night run and got Werewolf by Night 32, I ended up kind of turning into more of a key collector for a while and just picking up a bunch of keys. Hopping from hill to hill, getting the hardest books to get out of those runs, and then if I liked them or if I wanted to complete the runs later, I would work on that. So that's kind of what happened there. That's why the book is kind of more significant to me. That's an important book to me. Next, we have a book that I really wanted real bad. House of Secrets 92. Once I decided to get this book, nothing was going to stop me. It's the most that I myself have paid for a book purely on my own. So by this time in my collecting, it was already kind of self-funding by buying and selling other books. Not really flipping books so much, but just selling off things in my collection, buying things at lower costs and selling them in bulk, you know, to shops and dealers and things like that. So I was kind of providing to dealers. I wasn't selling too much to the public. So this book, this House of Secrets 92, I wanted to get this book really bad, and I didn't mind paying basically full price for it, but I ended up paying the market value for a 2.5, but getting a verified, CBCS verified Bernie Wrightson signature on there as well. So getting that made a big difference to me. So very happy with that. That's a big deal for me. I love this book. Love the first appearance of Swamp Thing. Love the story. It's just fantastic. It's perfect Bronze Age horror. Just, it's everything DC can do right is in this book. Absolutely love it. And this is one of my definite favorite books. So that's why it's third on the list. 2 and 1 are probably going to be similar on a lot of people's list, especially 1. But my second highest valued book is going to be Giant Size X-Men #1 and a 3.5. Now, what's interesting about this is that at the time that I bought this book, it would have been third on the list behind the House of Secrets 92. But because of the way the market is and because of the explosion in X-Men prices, this book is now worth more than my House of Secrets 92. But I paid less for this book than I did for my House of Secrets 92, and it's in a 3.5 CGC case, and the House of Secrets 92 is a 2.5. So that's how the market moves. So staying true to this list and to the requirements of the contest, this truly is my second most valuable book. Love it. 3.5. Just about perfect cover. It has an unfortunate crease right across the X. That's color breaking. You can see that. Looks like it's been pressed out though, so I'm not too worried about that. But other than that, what I wanted when I was picking up this book was I wanted this to be perfect, and I didn't want anything tore into Wolverine. Now you see how low his claws go in this book, and oftentimes there's big rips or gaps there. Also over here you'll see a rip or a tear or a stain or a pull where people pull the pages on the edge. So this book can have a lot of damage around Wolverine, and I didn't want any of that on this book. I wanted this book to be just about perfect. So there you go. Giant Size X-Men #1, first appearance of the new team. Third appearance or so of Wolverine, depending, maybe second appearance of Wolverine. I don't know who you believe. For me, first appearance is 180. It says second full appearance of Wolverine. Whatever. To me, 180 is his first appearance. And I have a Hulk 180. It didn't make the list, which is a shame because I really wanted it to. But based just on the value, every book I've shown here in the grades that they are worth more than the Hulk 180. This is one, of course, my Hulk 181. to 2.5. I don't care. This is in flux right now. So one of the reasons why I'm making this video, not just to enter the contest and to support Man from Beantown and his 300 subs, but also because this is probably the last time I'm going to show this book for a while, because I am going to crack, press, clean, and submit this to CGC soon. So I just want it. I want it in a CGC case. I want it to be pressed, and I want it to be regraded, and I think I can get a 3 or maybe even a 3.5 out of it after it's cleaned and pressed by me. So looking forward to that. And the reason, prior to that, I wanted to have it available so that I could read it whenever I wanted to read it, crack it, and read it myself. But now that they've got the facsimile edition out, it really is true to this, and it's perfect, so I can read the facsimile edition. So this one's going to get resubmitted to CGC. And some people are like, well, do the cross grading and all that. Well, I can't, because if you go back in time, I've already cracked this, and I recased it in its original case. So this has actually been cracked, and I put it back in the CBCS case. So if anybody wonders if that's possible, the answer is yes. However, a discerning person would be able to tell. A true comic collector who knows what to look for in a repackaged case would be able to see that this has been cracked and put back in the case. But not everybody's that good. So if you're buying it as a gift for someone, you probably would get fooled, because it's very hard to tell that there's been any cracking going on to this case. So that's it, guys. That's my list. Congratulations to Man from Beantown for reaching 300 subs. And thank you for having this contest. I hope I win. I really like the idea of top 10 books. It's funny because a lot of people have said, tell me your top 25 books. That was too many books, because when you get to 20, I have about 40 books on the walls. But they're not all, some of them are in themes. They're not all my favorite books. So to get to my top 25 favorite books, I'd have to pull every book off the wall that I really that are really high value, and go into, you know, the cabinet to get even more books that are raw out, and that's really more than I want to get into. 10 books was a perfect number. And I also had my Stan Lee SIG just come back from CGC this past week, so I was kind of waiting for that to come back in. Then Man from Beantown extended the contest a couple of days, so that gave me an extra chance to get it in. So here it is. Here's my my entry. Hope y'all didn't mind looking at my face. If I get too many negative comments about it, I'll just take it down. But you know, I'm really proud of these 10 books. Proud to have them in my collection. They're not necessarily the most representative books of my collection. There's a few that I would definitely throw in from my collection to show, kind of rounding out what my collection looks like. But these top 10 really are my most valuable books. So there you go. Hope you guys don't mind again that I was on face for this, but I really wanted to be part, you know, to have my face next to that book. You know, that's what I wanted. You know, you don't get a chance to do that when you're always behind the camera and everything is in my display that I do. I don't get much chance to be part of it. I always want my channel generally to focus on the comics themselves, but this time, since it was my top 10 books, I kind of wanted to be with the comics. So hope you don't mind too much. Channel will go back to regular with the very next video, I'm sure, because I've already recorded that. So hope y'all enjoyed that. I know I did. Thank you again, Man from Beantown. Thank you to Deadpool2323, who shouted me out in his video. Also Alex the Comic Hoarder, who shouted me out in his video. If anyone else mentioned me as one of their favorite channels, I thank you. I didn't get to watch all of them, but I do thank you. So that's it. This is BUB'S Comics signing off, saying, hey, crack one of these open and read it. Shh. Thanks. Bye.